Okay, so today we are going to do lesson 9-3. It's comparing numbers. So when you're done watching this video and doing your independent practice, you'll be able to use place value blocks to compare two-digit numbers. Let's go ahead and watch our visual learning video.
Which is greater? Compare the numbers. First, compare the tens. Do 98 and 94 have the same number of tens? Yes, the tens are the same. Both numbers have 9 tens. When you compare two two-digit numbers, you first compare the tens. If the tens are the same, then you compare the ones. So, compare the ones. 8 ones in 98 is greater than 4 ones in 94. 98 has more ones than 94. So, how does 98 compare to 94?
Select your answer.
So the top one says that 98 is greater than 94. Greater than means that it's the bigger number. And then this is the greater than sign, and I like to think about this as a alligator, and the alligator's mouth wants to eat the bigger number. Down here, this one says that 98 is less than 94, and less than means smaller. So is 98 smaller than 94? No, it is not. So the mouth is facing the opposite way. So the correct one is the top one.
"98 is greater than 94. Now compare these numbers. Do 32 and 35 have the same number of tens?
Yes, they do. They both have 3 tens in 32 and 3 tens in 35. So they have the same number of tens. So now you have to look at the ones.
Yes, both numbers have 3 tens. So compare the ones. How many ones do the numbers have? 32 has 2 ones and 35 has 5 ones. 32 has fewer ones than 35. So, how does 32 compare to 35?
So would you
Select your answer.
So would you say 32 is greater than 35, which means that, remember, greater than is bigger. So 32 is bigger than 35, or 32 is less than 35. Remember, less than means smaller. So this would be 32 is less than or smaller than 35. So the answer is less than.
32 is less than 35. Why do you have to compare the ones to compare 32 and 35?
So because the tens are the same number, you look to the ones so that way you can figure out whether 2 is greater than 5 or whether 32 is less than 5.
Both numbers have the same number of tens. The ones are compared only if the tens are the same number.
Comparing numbers is a blast.
All right, let's go ahead and look at the guided practice. You can practice the convince me if you think that if you need extra help, but let's go ahead and move on to the guided practice. Okay, so they already did the first one with you, but let's go ahead and look at it anyways. We have 78. Okay, so there's 7 tens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups of 10. Let me get my pencil. 7 tens, and then you have to count the ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 ones. And 7 tens and 8 ones makes the number 78. Okay, so then you have to figure out what the next number is. So let's count our tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 groups of 10 and 1, 2, 3 ones makes the number 53. Okay, so now that we have our two numbers, let's go ahead and compare them. We want to find out whether 78 is greater than 53 or whether 78 is less than 53. So let's go ahead and look at our tens place first. So we have 7 groups of 10 and 5 groups of 10. Okay, so obviously 7 is the bigger number. There's more cubes in 78 than there are in 53. So 78 is greater than 53. Okay, and if we were using our sign, remember the sign would, the mouth, the greater than sign, the mouth is facing the 78. It's facing the bigger number, okay? All right, let's go ahead and look at number 2. So we have 2 groups of 10. And 1, 2, 3, 4 ones. Okay, so that makes the number 24. Okay, and then over here we have 2 groups of 10 again. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ones, which makes the number 29. Okay, so when we look at 24 and 29, the tens number is the same, 2 and 2. Okay, so now we have to look at the ones. So here we have a 4, here we have a 9. So 9 is the bigger number, okay? So 29 is the bigger number. So we would say that 24 is greater than 29 or 24 is less than 29. Remember, greater than means bigger, less than means smaller. So the answer is 24 is less than or smaller than 29, okay? And the less than sign, the mouth faces the right. It faces, remember, the mouth always wants to eat the bigger number, okay? So you would say 24 is less than 29, okay? All right, now here's what I want you guys to do on your own. You guys can work on the independent practice. You can either do it digitally by getting on your Pearson Easy Bridge and practicing these numbers. Or you can, if you still have the workbook pages, you can use the workbook pages to practice your greater than and less than. Practice comparing your numbers, okay? All right. Oh, and then don't forget too, when you're done, go back and take the quick check, okay? So that way I can see that you did it. And make sure to, up here, normally there's a little turn in button. Make sure you turn this in so that way I can see that you guys completed this lesson.